Coming up this morning on Daily Iowan TV, we give you the latest on the Paul Manafort scandal.
And later, we take you inside a self-defense class that helps students prepare for the worst.
We take a look at Noah Fant's comeback performance against Minnesota.
And we show you more on 2 impact freshmen on the basketball team.
I've got your Halloween forecast. I'll tell you more in weather.
All that and more is coming up.
Daily Iowan TV starts now.
Good morning, and thanks for tuning in to this live Tuesday edition of Daily Iowan TV. I'm Noah Gowdy.
And I'm Becca Scadden. Yesterday, we broke the news that former Trump campaign manager Paul Manafort has surrendered to the FBI after being indicted by a federal grand jury.
That's right. Manafort and his business associate Rick Gates have now pleaded not guilty to these charges.
These defendants are looking at decades in prison, so there's a tremendous incentive for them to come to prosecutors and say, we'd like to cooperate.
Currently, the pair has been placed on house arrest with bonds set at $10 million for Manafort and $5 million for Gates. They are both also listed as flight risks.
Manafort was accused of colluding with Russian officials during the 2016 election. Manafort's charges include being involved in a conspiracy against the United States, making false statements, and laundering more than $18 million.
A federal judge is officially blocking the military transgender ban President Trump proposed on Twitter back in July. The judge says the president's proposal directly harms people who identify as transgender because of the inequality of the ban and the risks that follow. The lawyers representing the Trump administration wanted the lawsuit dismissed because the Pentagon was still planning on how to implement President Trump's proposal. This is just one step in the proposal not being passed.
This week, Iowa City residents are able to still cast their early votes for the November 7th City Council elections. Until November 6th, early voting is taking place from 7:45 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. every weekday. On the ballot, there will be 3 open City Council seats. 2 of the open positions are at-large seats and can be voted on by anyone living in Iowa City over the age of 18. The 3rd seat is for District B, meaning only voters in that district can vote for that seat. To learn more about the candidates, districts, and locations for early voting, go online to the Johnson County Auditor's website.
For 20 years, a local healing center has impacted the lives of thousands of patients. Daily Iowan TV's Kaylin Cluck made a visit to learn more about their unique therapy methods.
Downtown Iowa City is home to a unique healing center with few others like it in the country. Eastwind Healing Center specializes in consciousness-based healthcare, offering services like hypnotherapy, acupuncture, energy medicine, massage therapy, Chinese herbal medicine, and dream work, to name a few. Eastwind combines alternative medicine with traditional Western medical approaches in order to heal the mind, body, and spirit. Dr. Candida Maurer started the Eastwind Healing School with her husband in 1997, and 20 years and thousands of clients later, Eastwind Healing Center has few counterparts that house so many alternative medicine services under one roof.
I could look at every one of the people I'm seeing right now and go, you know, I really care about these people. Every one of them is amazing, and they're all working on themselves in this really deep way. And I just honor their journeys because their journeys are so full. They're just so full and rich.
It's just a wonderful place. It's a gift to Iowa City and our surrounding areas. We have people come from all over to come here. I think it's very highly respected.
Maurer said she's had patients drive hundreds of miles to see her for hypnosis. In order to meet the high demand for the service, she holds classes to train other hypnotherapists. Eastwind also offers classes for the public involving Reiki, meditation, spiritual tarot, and more.
The body is always trying to heal itself. We just have to allow it that space to do it.
For Daily Iowan TV, I'm Kaylin Cluck.
Well, Becca, I'm sure Kaylin is very relaxed after going to film that story.
Yeah, and with midterms and everything coming up, I think I might actually have to go try some of that out myself. But Kaylin's standing by in our weather studio right now for our Halloween forecast. Let's toss it over to her. Kaylin?
Thank you guys, and happy Halloween. For this Friday holiday, we've got a partly cloudy day ahead of us with a high of 43. Now for tonight, if you're planning on going out to celebrate, expect temperatures in the 30s with some cloudy skies, but fortunately no rain. Then tomorrow we'll see a high of 51 with a slight chance of rain and cloudy skies. Now looking at our extended forecast, Thursday will also be cloudy with a high of 58. On Friday, our high is 52 with partly cloudy skies. For Saturday, there's a 60% chance of rain in the morning, and we'll see a high of 50. On Sunday, temperatures could get all the way up to the high 60s with a 50% chance of scattered thunderstorms. So be sure to bring a coat along with your costume if you're out celebrating tonight, and have a fantastic Halloween. That's your weather forecast. Now back to the desk.
Thanks, Kaylin. The popular rideshare app Uber is now making its way into the credit game. Uber is releasing its own credit card. It's just like any other credit card, you have to apply and be approved. The more you use the card, the more Uber credits you can gain. These credits can add up to give you free rides within the app. The applications for the card go live on November 2nd.
The University of Iowa always tries to take initiative to keep their students safe.
Yesterday, UI students organized a special self-defense class in an effort to teach students what to do if they're in an emergency situation.
Daily Iowan TV reporter Junya Kim has more.
University of Iowa event planning students created the event called Self-Defense 101. Community outreach police officer Alton Poole carried on the lecture in Schambach Auditorium. The lecture included several aspects of self-defense, telling how to prevent and respond to violence in your daily life.
It's one thing asking where you're going, but they're controlling where you go, who you hang out with, what you wear. There's a sign. If they're sending you text messages back to back to back to back to back, there's a sign.
The lecture also taught attendees how to react when you confront dangers or perpetrators in your daily life.
We need this space. This is what we call a reactionary gap. Why do we call it a reactionary gap?
Event planners provided the event for both university students and the public.
We really thought a self-defense class would be very beneficial, informative for not only UI students, but people in the community to kind of learn more about.
And so I think this presentation helped a lot with kind of real life situations and how you can act, even if it's not violent. So we kind of learned more about both in this presentation, which was really helpful.
Reporting from Main Library, this is Junior Kim of Daily Iowan TV.
Well, Becca, it was great to be back in Kinnick this weekend and see the Hawkeyes beat Minnesota.
Yeah, big win, and they actually had another big one against Minnesota this week, too.
Oh, let's toss it over to Bo and Taylor in the sports studio to find out more about that win.
Thanks, guys. That's right. The Iowa swim team actually managed to pull off an upset against Minnesota this weekend as well.
The men's team was lucky enough to do that, but unfortunately not the women's.
The men's team upset Minnesota 162 to 138 on senior night. The men won 10 out of the 16 events. Kenneth Mende and Jerry Twarowski each won 3 events.
The women's team fell to the 17th ranked Gophers 190 to 109. Hannah Burville finished second in 4 separate events. Both squads will head to West Lafayette to battle the Purdue Boilermakers Friday, November 3rd at 4 p.m.
Now the Iowa men's basketball team preseason began last Friday night, and we got our first look at some of the new additions to the team. Daily Iowan's Taylor Van Fleet has more.
The Hawks took on William Jewell College here in Carver for their opening exhibition game, and we got our first look of what's to come from Iowa basketball this season. It was 2 newcomers who stole the show in Iowa's first time back out on the court last Friday night. Freshman Luca Garza out of Merritt High School in Washington, D.C. scored 17 total points, shooting 8 of 13 from the field in his first start as a Hawkeye. And freshman Jack Nungy out of Castle High in Newburgh, Indiana, scored 16 total points and was a perfect 6 for 6 from the field. The two scored a combined 33 total points and tallied 9 rebounds each. But their strong performances didn't shock Coach McCaffrey.
They were phenomenal, but it's not a surprise. I mean, they've been great since the minute they got here. They were terrific in high school. They both have really mature games, tremendous versatility. Their length, they score and rebound and defend. Just, couldn't be more proud of those 2 guys.
They're big time aggressive like they always have been ever since they got here. That's what we want them to do. They're dominant on the glass, and they showed that in the second half. We wanted them to be more aggressive in the second half, and they did that.
The fact that they didn't have any jitters or they didn't play like they were nervous at all today, that was huge. And so I feel like, obviously it's an exhibition game, so it's going to get tougher down the road, but I think those two are off to a great start so far.
If this game was indicative of anything, it would be that the future is bright for this freshman class. Reporting for Iowa basketball, this has been Taylor Van Fleet with Daily Iowan TV Sports.
It looks like we'll get to see another young and talented group on the court this season.
Now, switching over to football, the Iowa offense needed to bounce back from their loss to Northwestern the week before. One player needed some confidence back as well. Mary-Kate Harrion has more.
After having the heartbreaking drop in overtime against Northwestern, Noah Fant came out and redeemed himself, having 3 catches, including a 45-yard bomb from Stanley to connect for the second touchdown of the game.
Obviously, it was a big letdown at Northwestern, but, coming back and working through practice, and my teammates, were there for me and helped me get through practice and into the game, and I was itching to get back on the field, so it felt good, though.
It's just, flushing it, playing the next play, and that's what Noah is. Nobody, looked down on Noah after that play. We knew that type of player he is, so I mean, we're excited for him. He's a great player, one of the best players on this offense, so he can always make plays.
We knew he was going to bounce back. He's a strong-minded guy. And we know he can do it. He's one of the best guys. He's one of the best guys on the team, and we're gonna need him.
I mean, he's a terrific football player, and we know that, and just make sure that he knows that. Every time that he's out there, that he can make a play.
Not only was Fant able to regain his confidence from the Northwestern loss, but the whole offense made up for their lack of scoring by getting on the board against Minnesota within the first 4 minutes of the game.
It was awesome, because Coach Ferentz came in today and said, we're going to take the ball, if we won, and they're probably going to defer. And I was like, wow. So, that just shows you where his head was at, that, that we want to, put their foot in their throat. So it was good, to see that confidence in us in the offense. So it was fun to see. It
was very important. That's one of our goals as an offense, is to come in and start fast. And, I think we did that pretty well this week. And, hopefully we can keep doing that again.
I mean, that's something that we've been, preaching and coaching on, really the entire season. So for us to be able to go out there, and I think it was like 5 or 6 plays, and we were able to punch it in. So, we've been talking about starting fast, and thankfully we hit that today.
After a string of slow starts from the Iowa offense, they finally showed some life back on the field that can hopefully stick with them as they get ready to welcome in Ohio State on Saturday. Reporting from Kinnick Stadium, this has been Mary-Kate Harrion for Daily Iowan TV Sports.
Well, Bo, it was great to finally see Iowa's offense step up into the role that they needed. But on the other hand, the defense has been killing it all season, just like Josie and Josh.
Yesterday, it was announced that the 2 Iowa football players were named to the semifinalists for the 2017 Bednarik Award. Senior linebacker Josie Jewell and defensive back Josh Jackson made the list for Best Defensive Player in the nation.
Jewell was also named a semifinalist for the Butt Kiss Award, which goes to the best linebacker in the nation. The finalists for both awards will be announced November 20th. And the winner for both these awards will be announced in early December.
Be sure to tune in tomorrow for updates from Iowa football's press conference today.
And I take a closer look at one freshman golfer who moved here all the way from Ireland. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, guys. And tonight, thousands of kids, young and old, will be out celebrating Halloween.
That's right, and we here at Daily Iowan want to make sure your night goes as smooth as possible. So here are a few tips.
If you'll be out trick-or-treating, the times vary depending on where you'll be headed. In Coralville, the night kicks off at 5:30 and goes until 8 p.m. Iowa City begins at dusk and goes until 8. North Liberty from 5 to 8, and University Heights from 6 to 8. If you'll be trick-or-treating in Cedar Rapids, the fun starts at dusk and has no specific end time.
For the older crowd, drivers are advised to stay alert tonight. Watch out for children dressed in dark costumes. Also be aware of children crossing streets, walking on the sidewalks, medians, and moving around parked cars. If you'll be out tonight, be aware of your surroundings, and if you see any suspicious activity, call 911 immediately.
And that'll do it for this edition of Daily Iowan TV. Stay up to date on all the latest news by checking us out on dailyiowan.com and by picking up a copy of the Daily Iowan.
Also be sure to subscribe to the Daily Iowan's new Discovery Snapchat page. Every Friday, the Daily Iowan releases a new set of segments for the Iowa City area. For Daily Iowan TV, I'm Noah Gowdy.
And I'm Becca Scadden. Thanks for watching and have a fun and safe Halloween, Iowa City.